he started off as an outcast.
When I was hired as a planner, no one else was called that. Back then, it wasn't easy for me to fit into a group. People sort of accused and attacked me as being this guy that didn't have any technological skills.
Whose ideas were far ahead of their time.
I would think that a video game idea like that, where you don't kill anybody, that was probably a tough sell for Hideo Kojima.
I know a lot of people complained that there was too much dialogue in the game, or the dialogue was, a little bit cheesy.
It was just getting very frustrating and tough for me. I began thinking about leaving the company.
But Hideo Kojima's ideas will create one of the greatest gaming series of all time.
The whole industry is still reeling from the impact that Metal Gear Solid has done for the video game industry.
He is an icon, there's no question.
What comes from this point onwards is just going to be amazing.
This is the story of Hideo Kojima's Metal Gear Solid franchise.
Man, gotta love icons. If it wasn't for that show, I probably never would have discovered this series. Anyway, good evening, guys. Doing the stream a little early this week. I'm leaving for a vacation tomorrow, so not going to be able to do it during my typical time. And I'm also not going to be doing a live stream next week, but I do have a video prepared for you guys, and that's going to premiere next Saturday at our usual time. So, anyway, Metal Gear. This game was released in 1987 and was published by Konami. As you can probably gather from that video, it started with Hideo Kojima, who, when he first entered college, was studying film, but as he, went about his studies, he was introduced to video games through the Famicom, and to him, he saw the future of entertainment in video games. He saw that as the next big step in storytelling. So he wanted to get into that industry against the wishes of his supervisors in college, I might add. And he would sign on with Konami. And he sort of came in at an awkward time in the industry. Back in those days, the idea of a video game developer was, a programmer, a computer nerd. So artists, writers, story people, idea men, they were there for sure, but you still had to do some programming, and that was something Kojima didn't have a lot of training in. So while he managed to get a few games out the door, most of the projects he worked on at Konami during those days didn't even make it to print. But I guess his supervisors wanted to throw him a bone, so they gave him a project that they felt any idiot could do, and that was create an action game based on war, which was basically a vague way of them saying, hey dude, just make Contra for us. Then they wanted it on the MSX, which was a Japanese home computer. And Kojima realized very quickly that Contra just was not feasible on the platform. There were a lot of technical limitations that just would make Contra very neutered on the system. So, taking inspiration from one of his favorite films, The Great Escape, he came up with this idea of a stealth game where the idea wasn't to, go forth and kill everything on the screen, but get by without being detected, which was a very oddball idea for the time. Games like Castlevania, Super Mario Bros., Contra, the action game, that's what was the big seller at the time. So when he brought this idea to his supervisors, they of course thought it was the dumbest thing they had ever heard of, and Kojima got so frustrated with that, as they said in this video, he considered pulling out of the industry, which would have been a very dark timeline for sure. But thankfully, he had a good boss at the time who encouraged him to take another crack at the pitch, but with a working prototype in hand. So as he was telling them about his idea, they would actually be playing it as a proof of concept. And as they did that, they realized that Kojima was onto something here. So they gave him the green light, the game was made, and it would become the highest best-selling and highest rated game on the MSX. It was so popular, in fact, that they ported it to the NES, and that was such a big hit that they made an independent sequel to it. And since then, Metal Gear has just become one of the biggest franchises in the gaming industry, and Kojima himself will become one of the big Rockstar developers of the industry. And if you haven't guessed by now, I'm a huge fan of this series. I was exposed to it through Icons here, and at the time I wasn't able to play it because I think I was 10 years old at the time, and I had parents who actually knew how to use the ESRB, so there's no way they were going to let me play a rated M for mature game. But eventually I would get to play it when they started to ease up on that a little bit. And I started with Metal Gear Solid, and I've been a fan ever since. This has always been one of my go-to examples of what can be done in regards to storytelling, creative thinking, art direction. I just don't know what else to say about it. Metal Gear is just a fantastic series. And I'm kind of tired of talking about it. I just kind of want to play it right now. So, also, I want to state for the record, it's funny, as I was laying out everything, all that sort of inadvertently matched up with the images on screen for Icons here. That was unintentional, and I do not own anything you see here. That was made by whoever produced Icons at the time. I just want to say G4. So I just put that on the screen so something more interesting for you guys to look at. But anyway, as to how I'm playing this game tonight, I'm going to be playing the version on the Metal Gear Solid HD collection for PS3. Recently, and the reason why we're digging into Metal Gear right now is because in October saw the release of Metal Gear Master Collection Volume 1, which features the 2 MSX games, the 2 NES games, and Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3. Now, there's been a lot of frustration amongst the fan base due to the fact that they're just straight ports of HD versions, and from what I hear, the port of Metal Gear Solid in particular is actually worse than the PlayStation version. But if you've never played Metal Gear Solid before, I guarantee it's not a bad way to do it. That's what most of the people I trust for reviews on YouTube are saying. So if you've never played any of these games, the Master Collection is a good place to start, if anything, just because it's so readily available. Get a quick sound check. It's not bad. So something else that's interesting to note is that the MSX games never landed stateside for the longest time. The MSX was a Japanese-only computer. And because of that, Americans wouldn't get to play this game until they released as part of Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, which is actually the version that's included with the Metal Gear Solid HD collection. Something that was probably intentional, give people a chance to actually play those games. The HD collection was great, dude. How come they don't make them like this anymore? Why is everything just gotta be a lazy port these days? Konami. It's a shame that's not a market quality anymore. Kojima Productions. I do have some things to say about Kojima's recent outputs, like Death Stranding, but I still do have immense respect for the man. He's one of my go-to heroes in the game industry. And Snake Eater will get his time in the sun eventually. This isn't the last time we're going to look at Metal Gear, I swear. Okay, so not a terribly good title screen, I would say. The kerning on the letters is kind of the problem. It's a little hard to read. And that metallic gradient is just ugly, dude. You can definitely tell it wasn't a graphic design doing this because they wouldn't have let this through. This would have made my graphic design teacher in high school sick. But the title Metal Gear, that's a very good title, very solid. Doesn't really tell you much about the gameplay, but if you know the plot of the series, it does make sense. It refers to the major recurring element in the series. And also, it's funny that the series is kind of be known as Metal Gear Solid, even though the first game of the series is just called Metal Gear. I guess it's kind of like with Super Mario Bros. It should just be Mario Bros. Okay, we'll go with original. There's a familiar sight. This is Big Boss, Operation Intrude N313, infiltrate enemy base, Outer Heaven, and destroy the ultimate weapon, Metal Gear. Let's go over the details first. Make contact with Gray Fox, find the location of the ultimate weapon, Metal Gear. Let's use the frequency 12085 for all communications from now on. Over. Yeah, that's my best impression of Big Boss. I know it's not very good. Okay, so first of all, I feel like there's a translation issue going on here. Like, with every synopsis I've read of Metal Gear, like, what it says is that Snake is a member of Foxhound, which is the most covert of Black Ops units in the United States military, intended to take on the most harrowing of missions. And in the game, one of their operatives, Gray Fox, is sent into a terrorist base, Outer Heaven, in order to investigate some strange activity, and he disappears with his last transmission simply saying Metal Gear. So after that, they send in Snake to find him and figure out what Metal Gear is. So he's kind of going in there not really sure what Metal Gear is, yet based on that transmission, I think it's very clear that they already know what Metal Gear is, which is a nuclear-armed walking battle tank. I'm not sure if that's how it was in the original Japanese version. I have no way of knowing. I can't read Japanese. But that seems like a big oversight. Something tells me this English adaptation was sort of half-assed. But anyway, as long as start with the controls, and Snake moves along a grid. He can only move in 4 directions: right, left, up, and down. He can't move diagonally. And you can of course punch, but it doesn't have much range. Pressing the trigger buttons goes into your inventory, so you got one for weapon and one for equipment or items. And as you can see, he has no weapons on him, and that's standard for Foxhound missions. The whole idea is they go in without any weapons so that there's no evidence of an outside weapon being used. So, not just for the sake of people being unaware of Snake's presence, but also so that there's nothing that can trace him back to the United States. If he gets caught, he's on his own. So, and that's also sort of plays into the commentary that the Metal Gear series often plays into, which is like how the nations of the world will treat their soldiers after they no longer have a use for them, you know, when there's no war to fight. But that doesn't become a major plot thread until the second game. That's not to say that Metal Gear doesn't have a story, but it's not as prevalent as you would expect for the series. As for your equipment, the only thing you have are Snake's trusty cigarettes, which no matter the mission, he always manages to smuggle out there. But you shouldn't have these equipped because while they do have their uses, they do cause Snake to take damage, so they're best used only when you need them. So, as I said, Metal Gear is a stealth game, so based on all that, it's probably best I avoid enemy encounters right now, so already the game is doing a very good job conveying that oddball gameplay premise. And of course you got the codec, which lets you talk to some teammates who will give you information, such as Big Boss here. This is Big Boss. The mission is an infiltration. Make sure the enemy does not discover your whereabouts. Over. Again, affirming very clearly that this is a stealth game and you're not supposed to, you know, go around looking for a fight. Okay, so It's also somewhat non-linear in nature, so you do have to explore a little bit. So I'm just going to do what I usually do and just go from one side to the other. Okay, so now we got our first enemy encounter here. So, how stealth works in the first Metal Gear is that the enemies work off a very clear line of sight. And I mean that very literally here because, like, if you look at these character sprites here, you can clearly see where they're looking, and that's by design. If you walk directly in front of them as they're facing in that direction, then that's when they detect you. Distance doesn't matter, and they will see you, they will come at you, and you have to exit to the other screen in order to get out of there. Now, that's very basic, very primitive for a stealth game, but you also gotta remember this was 1987. There weren't many games like this. The only other one I can think of would be Castle Wolfenstein. Yes, there were games before Wolfenstein 3D. So, just, it was for the best they kept it simple, and it's something that Kojima would routinely build upon in later games. So, a big part of the game is just observing patterns and just looking for a chance to slip by. Which I'm going to say is now. Fortunately, there's nothing over here that I'm interested in. I can't go in this door right here. I need a key or something to get in there. Again, me talking like I've never played this game before. This isn't one I play religiously, but I have completed in the past. As for the presentation, the color palette's sort of ugly, but the detail is nice. I mean, look at this tank, dude. This is an 8-bit console. That's some really good detail there. The snake's animation isn't that bad, and it's actually kind of funny. I can still recognize this snake now that I think about it. The music is decent too, but it does get a little repetitive after a while. Alright, got some more goons. Got some trucks. So that was a ration, which is essentially a health item. You don't have too many of those, and your health bar is pretty minuscule as is, so you want to be careful with that. See, look at this. Even though I am clearly in his line of sight, he still doesn't detect me because it only matters if I'm in this literal line of sight here. So I'm still not going to be detected, and since he can't look diagonally or anything, I'm basically in a blind spot. Got some binos. So, as you play the game, you'll gain different gear that'll help you along the way, such as weapons, key cards, rations, but also upgrades like the binoculars here, which I just remembered I can't use while I'm in the truck, so step out here, switch to the binos, and I can now see the different screens to get an idea of what's ahead, which is kind of handy. Now that I think about it, the design here kind of reminds me of Resident Evil now that I think about it. For different reasons, but more for the exploration and the discouragement of combat here. Though in Resident Evil, the whole thing with it was resource management, where here it's stealth that's the name of the game. But I like to think that there was some influence there, though I might be overthinking that. Ah, wrong button. Alright, with this key card, I should be able to get in that door now. But I gotta slip past these guys. It is something of a slow-paced game. There is some waiting involved as you wait for that opportune moment to slip by. But believe me, it could be a lot worse. It at least keeps the gears in your head turning, unlike, say, Clock Tower. Alright, let's see what we got in here. And it actually is nice that inventory is mapped to the shoulder buttons, because that's something else that's standard for the series up until Metal Gear Solid 5, I think. Got a guard in here. Yawn, I'm sleepy. Ah, what an idiot. Yeah, if you can get behind a guard and punch him, you'll get him in a stun lock and you can use that to take him out. But again, you gotta hit him a couple of times in order to do that. So if there's other enemies around, there's a good chance you'll get spotted. So it's something you gotta do carefully. And weirdly enough, that's something else that's still standard for stealth games. Usually, if you have the means to take an enemy out, it usually does take a second to do it quietly. Like, think to The Last of Us. It's not like Joel just runs forward and snaps the guy's neck and just lets him drop to the ground. He has to slowly choke him out. So, yeah, some really forward-thinking design here. So, gas mask, that'll come in handy later. Yeah, Bit Boss has called me, but if you hit that button, he'll just say the same thing he did before. So we'll head forward and see what's up ahead. Oh crap, this isn't good. I may have just screwed myself. And thankfully the guards aren't smart enough to realize that their buddy just got taken up, so there's nothing to worry about there. There's a chance to slip by. Definitely not getting around those guys, so we'll head this way next. And got ourselves a pistol here, which unfortunately does not have any ammo, so it's not really helpful to me anyway. And even if it had ammo, I still wouldn't be able to use that because guns do make noise in this game. So if you're in a room with a bunch of dudes and you fire a gun, they're all going to be aware of you, and when that happens, you're going to get chased. You're essentially screwed. You can't really use your weapon safely until you get a suppressor. And again, that's complex design for a game this old. Alright, head out. Let's see what's in this other one. Ah, dudes. There's this clown again. Can't go that way. That is one of the bigger issues with the original Metal Gear. You can't just... well, you need the key cards to get anywhere in the game, but unfortunately, like, there's nothing discerning what key cards you need. Like, you'll get different levels as the game goes on, but they all have the color red on them. So, like, how do you tell which key cards you need? So you come to a door and you have a bunch of them. You gotta cycle through all of them to see if you have the one that opens the door. And sometimes you do and sometimes you don't, but it would have been nice if the cards just stacked, or if they had something that indicated to you, like, which key card you're supposed to use. Like, would have been so difficult to color code them. Yeah, I guess those guys got stuck there. Yeah, the AI in this game is pretty brain dead, but that, you gotta remember, this is a Stone Age computer game. But again, the AI does get more complex as the series goes on. Take the elevator up to the next floor and see what we can find. What you got, Big Boss? This is Big Boss. Watch out for the surveillance cameras. Over. Okay, so yeah, we do have surveillance cameras to worry about now. So a lot of people might wonder, what's the big deal if you trip those up? Well, they operate the same way that a guard does. If you break that line of sight, you set off an alarm. But it's different from being caught by just a lowly guard, because what happens is the alarm goes off and then enemies flood in from off screen. And the problem there is that you can't just escape to another screen because they'll follow you. You actually have to book it back to the elevator and move to another floor in order to get that alarm to go away. And something I haven't mentioned up to this point, I talked about technical issues that made Contra an impossibility on the MSX. And there are two big ones. First of all, the MSX couldn't scroll, which, believe it or not, was a big technical achievement if a console could do that back in the day. And two, it could only have 4 character sprites on screen at once. If you had more than that, you'd have to use sprite flickering in order to get more on there. Which is why Kojima came up with Metal Gear, which is well suited to, a screen-by-screen approach and a minimal enemy count. So a lot of game developers everyone wants the most powerful hardware, so they have limitless potential for the type of games they can make. But there is something to be said for working on weaker hardware and having to really think about how you want your game to be designed around that hardware. That's why so many games on the Wii are so interesting, because they had to make do with what they had rather than just having everything that they needed to make the game they wanted. Just so much to talk about with this game. This really was ahead of its time. Okay, so I just need to get around these things. And I just remembered I do have my binos so I can see what's ahead. Okay, so I don't think I want to go that way yet, so we'll head down for now. What is down, though? Okay, I think I'll go on the left side. Yeah, tactical espionage action at its best, thinking about what you're doing before you actually do it. So now I got a box of ammo. How do I shoot? Ah, crapola. Should have done that. That's why you don't want to shoot your gun without a suppressor. Crap. That's some BS design right there. So this is the room with the gas. You need the gas mask to get in here. But the problem is, in order to get in the room, you need to have your ID card equipped. And once you're inside the room, you're going to take damage. And in order to get out of the room, you need to re-equip your ID card. So no matter what, you're going to take damage here. That is horrible design. Kojima has always said that he's happy with the way the first Metal Gear is and that doesn't need to be changed. But come on, dude, there's some quality of life things that you could address here. This is far from a perfect game. I don't know why that alert music is still playing. Maybe that's why. Hold still, you. Nah, I'm dead. I kind of walked into that one. That's what I get for experimenting with my guns in a not so safe environment. But the game is pretty forgiving. If you die, you just go back to the elevator. I still have all my gear, though I don't have weapons, any ammo for my pistol anymore. At least it has jet points to send you right back to the beginning. Get my ammo. I am not going to use it this time. Alright, so what this is here is a hostage, and these are people you have to free throughout the game in order to progress the story along. So I free this guy, he tells me he's saved, and some of the hostages will actually give you information. The big hostage you need to say is Grey Fox, who actually tells you what Metal Gear is, how to destroy him, so yeah, you want to be sure you save these guys. They'll also level up your health bar too. Let's go in. I'm gonna pop the ration just in case. This is Big Boss. I forgot to tell you, you'll need a gas mask for the gas room. Ya think? Schneider, the leader of the Resistance, should be able to tell you where to get the gas mask. Over. Dude, who the hell is Schneider? That does say Schneider, doesn't it? Is that how you say that? I don't care. In we go. Ooh, ammo. Okay, let's see if there's anything in these rooms. Need to avoid that camera. Got another hostage here. Thanks for saving me. The Foxhound member that infiltrated this base a few days ago is unharmed. They captured him. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, some of the information is more useful than others. Real quick, let's use the binos, see what's up ahead. Doesn't look like anything major. Just step inside. Okay, who the heck puts this in a military base? This just seems excessive. You don't want to step in front of that though, because that's a one-hit kill. So, gotta time it. Ooh, plastic explosive. Down. What is this, Metal Gear or Indiana Jones? Okay, so doesn't look like there's anything terribly hazardous ahead. Just need to be sure I don't get seen, be seen. Crap. Okay, so there's no way I'm getting to that. Oh wait, it moves. What am I saying? Let's see. Good, I can go in this door. This looks a little suspicious though. I'm gonna just edge my way over here. There are booby traps in this game. Trapdoors you gotta watch out for. Key card 2. Gives access to more of the facility. Oh, that's close. Alright, let's see if we can go on this door here. Yep. Another ration, I definitely want to get that. You never know. Just edge over. Okay, nothing dangerous in here. Get real tired of having to knock that guy's lights out, though. Okay, before I head up, see what's ahead. What you got for me, Bit Boss? This is Bit Boss. I forgot to tell you. In order to turn off the juice, you'll have to destroy the electrical power panel. You need an RC missile. Schneider is the leader of the resistance. Should be able to tell you where to get one. Over. Okay, first of all, Bit Boss, please stop forgetting to tell me stuff. And also, if you want me to get in touch with Schneider, how about you tell me how to get in touch with Schneider? I'm starting to think that Mission Command is full of idiots here. Alright, so I can't go forward anymore, so gotta backtrack. It's kind of like a Metroidvania or a Zelda now that I think about it. Kojima was the type of guy who liked to play games at the time. He was a big fan of Shigeru Miyamoto's work, actually. It's actually because of his relationship with Miyamoto that Nintendo actually got a Metal Gear game for the GameCube. Alright, gotta get got by these clowns again. They're not doing a very thorough job guarding, are they? Well, if they want to be incompetent guards, that's their own business. Ah, crap, 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 crap. Ah, crap. Leave me alone! Run! Ah, crap, I forgot about the gas. Ha! And all my progress just got undone there. That's aggravating. Well, that's what you get when you get caught. So I gotta do all that again. Like, I am happy to see a new Metal Gear game. I am excited for Metal Gear Delta. I really do hope that they do that game justice. But at the same time, I would be more interested in a remake of the first two Metal Gear games before any of the Metal Gear Solid games. Now, it's not to say that Metal Gear Solid 3 isn't in need of a remake. I'd say that every game in the series up to this point is due for a remake. But I would say if there were any games of this series that were in greater need of it, it would definitely be the first two games. Create a hostage. Go out the door. God, that is BS. Degen. Okay, it's not this first door, it's the second door. That music is starting to get on my nerves a little bit. It's just a little too repetitive for its own good. Get this guy, which tells me stuff that I'm going to file in a memo entitled Stuff I Already Know. Oh crap, crap, crap. Oh good, didn't see me. I gotta get by these guys again. My god, these guys suck. I just walked right by that guy. I think the people of Outer Heaven need to hire better security. I feel like Snake is just kind of walking to the front door here. Get this other ration. Okay, I'm gonna do this very carefully this time. There we go. Ooh, that was close. Huh. Please go the other way, please go the other way. I'll walk up here and kick your butt. Okay, let's see if I can go through this door here, which I can. I smell a trap. Or a rat. Maybe a rat in a trap. Just gonna edge over there. Guess it's safe. Ooh, an RC missile. Would it really be safe to use that in this context? Well, I'm going to anyway. Might as well pop a ration. So there's a limit to how much you can carry too. Gotta get by all these guys again. And there's these clowns again. Gotta wait for them to do the pattern. Yeah, some stop and go gameplay right here. Ah, crap, now I'm screwed. Ah, crap, they're coming from behind too. But might as well see if I can get through here. But I got through there, no problem. Now I just need to survive. Okay, I'm good. Okay, can I go in here? No, I cannot. Maybe level 1. See, again, why can't that be color-coded? Got another hostage here. What's he have to say? Thank you for helping me. Diane from the Resistance will provide for support on frequency 2033. Okay. Diane should have a lot of information about the enemy. Okay, so 2033, he said. Let's see what she has to say. This is Solid Snake. Come in. This is Steve. Diane? If I know Diane, she's gone shopping and won't have come back yet. This is Solid Snake. Come in. This is Steve. Diane? If I know Diane, she's gone shopping. So this was useless. Forget you, dude. Ooh, enemies are back. Real quick, let's just see what's up ahead of me. It's like another elevator up there. I may just have to slip by these guys. Okay, can't go then. Might as well just be computer cam. They might as well just be security cameras, eh? And what do we have up here? This is Big Boss. I forgot to tell you, there's a wind barrier on the roof. Look for a bomb blast suit. Over. Okay, so evidently I can't go up here. I wonder what happens if I try to get in touch with Diane now. This is Solid Snake, come in. Nothing. That's so useless. Oh, not going that way. Let's head down. Still got 10 minutes left in the stream. Looks like I can go down another floor. No way I'm going that way without getting spotted, so we'll head this way. Not sure what's up with that guy below, but he looks like he'd be a bit tougher than everyone else I've encountered so far. Maybe not, just a typical grunt. Yawn, I'm sleepy. Good for you, bud, good for you. Falling asleep on your feet. That's a useful skill. Okay, so here's where you need to use the cigarettes. So you equip those, now you can see the infrared lasers. But like I said, you don't want to keep those equipped because that drains your health. See if we can't get in here. Not getting in that door. Wait for him to come back and then I'll take him out. Can't go that way. Can't go that way either, so that's a dead end. Another hostage. I'm saved! Well, not really. You're still in the terrorist stronghold, dude. You're not going anywhere. I appreciate the enthusiasm, though. Okay. Just a reminder where this guy is. There. Yawn, I'm sleepy. Oh crap. Must have bumped into him by accident. Man, Yeah, there's a bunch of guys that way. Which must be in the garden something important. It's gonna be tricky getting in there. Probably have to take out that guy down there at the bottom first while they all have their back turned and hope I don't alert them to my presence. Crap, got hung up on the wall there. Alright, let's see if I can't get in this door. No, I can't. Alright, what's to my left? Doesn't look like anything, but there is a security camera there with no cover. Man, looks like a dead end again. I can't get into that room without setting off the camera. Try to get around these guys. Oh crap, I'm screwed. And here comes more. Managed to get him to slip though, thank Lifeson. Still more floors to explore. Oh jeez, more bad guys. Aw, oh, come on, why didn't you turn around? Oh, crap, crap, crap. Ah. Okay, so I'm not going that way. I'm kind of screwed here too, aren't I? Come on. I really wish these doors were labeled. See, I just wasted my time there for no reason. Two minutes left in the stream. See if I can't get around these cameras. Nope, I ain't getting out of here. Guess we'll head to the basement, see what's down there. Some angry dogs. I think that'll actually do it for tonight. So, the original Metal Gear, honestly, I was kind of getting into it. Now, that's not to say there aren't some issues with it. The main thing for me is just those freaking key cards, dude. Like, was red really the only color you could have picked? You could have made, like, level 2 blue, level 3 green, or something like that, just to indicate what key cards you need so that you don't waste your time trying every single door and backtracking, trying to figure out where everything is. And that's something else that does become sort of tiring as the game goes on, just trying to figure out where you have and have not been, since a lot of the areas just tend to blur together. But at the same time, you really have to admire what they were able to achieve for 1987. Like, it actually does tell a pretty decent story for the time. The graphics aren't bad, the presentation is good, and the gameplay is surprisingly complex. I play it, and I immediately start thinking of, like, my time playing Metal Gear Solid or Metal Gear Solid 2. Less so with more recent games in the series that take things outdoors, but still, it feels like Metal Gear. And I can see this influenced a lot of games, and not just in the stealth genre too, but also with, like, any kind of immersive sim. Like, this reminds me a lot of, like, Thief, Resident Evil, the Bioshock, stuff like that to some degree. But if you're going to play Metal Gear, is this the game to start with, I think is the biggest question. And I gotta be honest, I think that answer is no. If you're going to start with Metal Gear, you want to start with Metal Gear Solid. That's the game I started with, and that might seem strange, because that's the third game in the series, and it is a very story-heavy series, so, like, you would think skipping 2 chapters would be a bad thing. But Metal Gear Solid does a really good job getting you up to speed on what happened in the other 2 games. And it actually kind of works in isolation, too, because it sort of builds this mystery and lore around Snake as a character. Like, do you want to hear about all these legendary adventures that he had? Well, you have 2 other games you can play if you want to. So, if you want to get into the series, that's the place to start. But it might be a while before we get to that. I do want to cover the NES games too. And I also need to cover the MSX sequel, Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. I think Kojima had a weird fascination with the word solid. But as a result, I think the original Metal Gear is more of a curiosity than anything. It's more for guys like me who are just big fans of the series and, you know, just love video game design history and stuff like that. So if you're that kind of person, I do recommend checking out the game, but if you're not, just play Metal Gear Solid first. That's the best place to start. Get the Master Collection, support the official release. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight, guys. If you enjoyed tonight's content, be sure to like and subscribe. I do these videos every week at 8 o'clock. And if there's a game you guys would like me to look at in the future, be sure to leave it in the comments and I'll be sure to add it to the list. But until then, I'll see you guys next week, or I guess you won't really. Anyway, catch you later.